When I started playing Valorant, improving seemed quite easy. Just sit down and play. Eventually it will make me better. But after a while I realized months gone by and I'm still the same rank. I knew I had to change. So I will share 5 things with you that I wish I knew sooner. Number 4 and 5 are straight up cheat codes if you wanna improve. One-tricking was one of the ideas I learned about Valorant early on. Get extremely confident with one agent and it would carry me through the ranks. And to be honest, at first it was working. I reached Immortal being a brimstone one-trick and felt like I'm on top of the world. But at the same time, the muscle memory I built up during this time was my biggest enemy. Everything I learned about the game was focused around one role, one agent and one playstyle. Of course, now I can imagine some of you say, but reaching Immortal wasn't enough, and if we are honest, it was my goal, so I was kind of happy with what I achieved. But somehow I wanted to understand the game even deeper. It felt like the matches I lost could have been won, and it was partially my fault that we didn't. I kept on thinking with a controller brain and skill set even when I had to fill in as a sentinel. It held me back because I couldn't perform even remotely close to my level. So if I could start again, I would definitely play a lot more with different agents to get a feel for every role, to understand certain mechanics or behaviors, so when I finally end up being a controller main, it can help me to be a better team player. The next thing I wish I knew sooner is how much your setup can influence your gameplay. But I'm not talking about having the best PC ever, but I'm referring to whatever peripherals you are using. One of the most important things is your mouse. Having a proper grip and comfortable yet light touch is key to mastering your aim. I went from a heavy mouse, which was the Logitech G502, to one of the lightest mouse on the market, the Modelo Minus. The difference was insane. Finally, my hand was not hurting, and I understood how crucial it is to take care of your body if you want to play this much. But this isn't everything. The other key aspect of the game is sound. Both outgoing and incoming sounds are fundamental in your journey. I started out like everyone else. I had a crappy mic on a crappy headset. I am sure my teammates were more than bothered when I talked because the quality of my voice was absolutely dreadful. The solution was this beautiful big boy and a proper headset. But of course I was only able to get them when I finally started making more money than before. So if you are not in a blessed situation in terms of cash, there is a great alternative that I would like to share with you. This is the SimGut EG280. It is an IEM which stands for in-ear monitor with built-in microphone. But why should you get one for yourself? First of all, the quality of the product is great. The cable that comes with the package is rolled up in a very interesting way to make it more durable. It comes with 6 pairs of silicone ear tips to make sure it fits anyone using it. 3 pairs of white ones which have a less defined texture. They are softer than the black ones, but it is really up to taste which one would you prefer to use. Personally, I went with one of the white ones because it felt better for longer gaming sessions. They fit perfectly into my ears and was such a relief that I don't have to wear my headsets all the time that can be tiring after long hours of gaming or listening to music. The package is just really clean and well put together. Now let's move on to the part that we all care about: sound. I used it for a while, so I can share an honest opinion about it, and I was amazed how well it works. In Valorant, it was quite easy to tell where my opponents are. There is little to no difference compared to my everyday headset, which is the HyperX Cloud 2. I can locate noises around me and the 3D sound does not let me down. The only real difference I could point out is the depth of deeper sounds. But once again, it was barely noticeable, and for a price of the SimGut EG280, it would be difficult to get something with such quality and comfort. Now let's talk about the microphone. Most of the headsets in general bleed out when we focus on the mic.
This is what it sounds like outside on a windy day. And this is what it sounds like inside of the house.
Of course, you can't compare it to a proper condenser microphone. However, the in-game sound was quite impressive. It didn't make static noise and picked up more detail than an average headset mic would. So if you are looking for a budget option, this is definitely a good alternative to go for. Now let's take apart one of the worst pieces of advice that I have seen Valorant coaches on YouTube give to beginners. They tell you to get into a match and then they just share 18 different ways on how to play to get better. Focus on your movement while you peek, but also keep your crosshair at hand level. However, you shouldn't forget to check the minimap before you do all that. The only thing that will happen is you being overwhelmed and getting eliminated in the stupidest way. The game has so many variables that it can only be learned with time and patience. You can't soak up everything at once and expect to do well. Go step by step and don't try to hurry. Understanding the maps, the roles and the guns takes time. Build up good habits and muscle memory that will carry you in the long run. Tip number 4 is a bit controversial. As a beginner, everyone says to watch good players and understand them to improve. This isn't bad advice, but it lacks key ideas that can benefit you as you reach higher levels. Spending your time on different streams is not enough if you don't actually try to recreate the ideas in-game. Just like watching a lot of guides on YouTube won't actually make you radiant, but will teach you new ways to improve that you can implement into your everyday games. But when you are watching great players, copy their rotations, their retake lineups, their way of calling, even if you don't understand it. There is a reason why they are doing certain things, and those decisions are usually very effective in average low-rank games. I mean, they are certainly better than whatever you just decided to do randomly. So don't try to understand everything they do, just focus on copying them and understanding things partially, which will give you an edge over your opponents. Before the last tip that I wish I knew before I started playing, prepare yourself, because this is one of the best advice you can get as a beginner. Don't ever play when you are tilted. If you lose your cool, always slow down. Do something else for an hour and reset your mind. It is much better to play 2 games with absolute focus than playing 4 or 5 with broken mentality. You will also improve more, since you can understand your mistakes and make deliberate decisions. When your emotions influence you, the result will be far more chaotic. Take this very seriously, as it comes from years of gaming experience. I never had success when I wasn't fully relaxed. My focus was less efficient, and as a result, I got stuck rather than moving forward. Being stuck made me even more annoyed, and because I stayed in the same environment for a longer time, I also picked up bad habits that were difficult to fix later on. So in short, focus on building your mentality and understanding your goals. When you have that down, the climb will be much more enjoyable and fun as well. With all that being said, the game is still missing some key improvements. I made a list of 5 things that could be added to level up Valorant and make it 1000 times better. If you want to share your ideas as well, check out this video.